No, I didn't show him nothing special like that, you know?
Yeah. You're like, you pick what you think.
So many girls go out there and they're like, this is exactly what I want. Pick my brain. This is and then it's like they're waiting and like they're waiting for the time. I had no idea.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna start and then we're gonna go back to that because that's real. Like people are like, I know exactly what color and shape, and we already went to the store. Why did you go to the store with him? Like
people are like, I'm shopping for my wedding ring. I'm like, what? Like I want to be surprised. I want to know like he picked this for me.
Right,
you know?
right. Like it's like his art project.
Yeah, like he's buying it.
Like yeah, he's like I went. This is for her. All right. Welcome to the Sayin podcast. I'm your host Mara. Today I have Gianna Scavetti and Johnny Garbarino, who is a Philly fighter. If you don't know, you probably know the Cannolis. The Cannoli video just went off after last week's fight. But what topped the Cannoli video is the engagement, in my opinion. But I'm a girl's girl, so I don't know. So I was like, I saw Johnny at the gym this week, and I was like, what do you guys want to talk about, love? And he's like, maybe. And then I got in touch with Jimmy, and then now we're here. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your win, but congratulations on your win.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having us on.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. So, all right, let's chat about, we were just kind of briefly talking about the ring. You didn't know that you guys were going to get engaged.
No.
Did you know that you guys were going to get engaged?
No.
Okay. Like, just
No, I
have
didn't.
the ring on hand just in case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I put a down payment on it like 2-3 weeks ago, and I didn't think it was going to be ready. It was actually ready the day of. So.
On the day of the fight?
Yeah, my partner went and grabbed it right before, and I was like, I'm definitely doing it tonight. It was meant to be, and I was telling her, she was like, did you know you were going to do that? And I said, to be honest, I didn't know how or when, but I always had a vision that I wanted to do it in front of the whole world in a major stadium.
Yeah.
I envisioned that it was going to be for the UFC.
Uh-huh.
Just so happened, Bare Knuckle Fight League came to Wells Fargo. You know, we had a sold out show, and I just did it there. It was great. You know?
Yeah, and I feel like it was like your home turf too.
Exactly.
And it was like the family was in the building.
Yeah, exactly. For me, that was like my Madison Square Garden. A guy from wherever might be like, that's my dream, or to fight in the T-Mobile Arena or something like that. But for me, that was my Madison Square Garden, Wells Fargo, Wachovia Center.
Right.
We grew up in Wachovia Spectrum.
Right.
It's my backyard, and to do it in front of my hometown is just like it was amazing.
Yeah.
You know.
I like woke up the next day and I was like, oh, Johnny won, like fake shocked. And then I was like kept going, and then I was like, no, Johnny won! And I was like, let's go! I like circled back on Carla's story. I'm like, oh my god! And so, okay, so you had no idea.
No, I mean, like, obviously, like, I'm thinking we're going to get engaged, like, this year or something, you know what I mean?
Well, because, like, you guys have been together for how long?
4.5 years, almost 5 years.
Okay.
I mean, we talk about it, like, you know, the family's talking about it, we're thinking about it, obviously.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, it's gonna come, you know?
Right.
But, I mean, not that. I wasn't expecting all that.
And then, so did you guys have, like, a party after?
Yeah,
like,
I didn't go to bed till the next morning, 6 in the morning, because I actually had to do like a press conference after the fight. They had me there till 2 in the morning. So everybody went to my after party. I got there like 2:30. Like they hitched a ride with a couple of like producers or whatever at the show, and like the athletic commissioner grabbed me and he's like, he drove me right there. So I didn't get to see everybody till like Oregon Steaks at like 5:30 in the morning.
I've been to Oregon Steaks with you. I like not hear that surprise. Okay, so we were kind of talking at the gym the other day, and he was like, you don't even know how down you are, like, as a woman, which I just love. And so when he was, like, telling me a little bit more, like, we didn't even really get into it. Obviously, I've trained with Johnny, like, randomly just by being at Trey's at the same time, and then obviously I have mutual friends with you. And so how did you guys get together in the beginning?
Actually met on the beach.
Okay.
Which is like, doesn't happen to people anymore because everybody's on their phone. So I love saying that, but does happen, girls. It does happen. We met at the Brigantine Cove.
Okay.
During COVID.
Okay.
I was there with a bunch of my girlfriends for like a birthday celebration, and he actually was there with a bunch of his guy friends. Yeah, but I mean, we weren't like together, and a couple of my friends were like, "Come on, let's go walk over there." Like, I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'll stay right here." And they're like, "Come on." So meanwhile, it's just funny. I ended up standing right next to him, and we just kind of started talking and hitting it off. We were playing what's that game called?
With the bean bags.
Cornhole.
Yeah, we're playing cornhole.
Yeah, and I don't know. He was kicking my ass in cornhole and talking shit to me, and
I was breaking her balls. I was literally destroying her in cornhole.
I'm like, the fighter, like, being nasty, like, fake nasty. Like, he's like,
no, but
obviously flirting.
I'm just competitive. You know
Right,
what I mean?
yeah, no.
So, like, this girl's, like, coming to my cornhole game and, like, kicking my ass, so I started going.
You're like, this is not on my watch.
Yeah, I think we were both, like, pretty buzzed, too, at the time. We were drinking all the time during COVID. We were drinking... I think we had Casamigos, and we had the same drink, like the same exact drink. And I didn't get, she walked over with it, and I had the same thing. So that was pretty cool. And then, like, if you're at the Brigantine Cove, you are automatically a Trumper. So we didn't really.
Oh God!
I'm
like, here we go. Well, I already know.
No, but it was like super. We just knew everything was aligned. You know what I mean? It was very.
Yeah,
easy.
you're like in the
natural.
same like group of people, kind of.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, our morals are.
Yeah, values, morals, all that stuff. But what was cool was I grabbed her number, and I didn't see her for months because I moved down to Florida, and I was even hesitant to like take anything on super serious.
Right.
We really didn't even talk.
Yeah,
we like kind of were like
maintained a little
like,
bit.
hey, how are you? Like type of thing. We've gone. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
He said I'm going down there to fight, but I didn't know he was a fighter. I thought he was like.
I went down for like 4 months.
I had no idea. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Have fun.
So I was training down in Florida for fighting, and when I came back, I hit her up, and right before I came back, I hit her up, and basically I was like, hey, I think we should grab dinner. I don't know how you felt about it, but I was super excited. I took her out. I took her to Il Fiore in Collingswood. Classy little joint. Very consistent.
So you did like proper. You were like get dressed.
Yeah.
You were going out.
I didn't even realize this. She said.
So proper.
She said when I took her out, I like opened the door and everything. And like got her into the car, and all her girlfriends were looking through the windows.
I'll go back to that.
She had like 20 girls looking at me through the apartment on 12th and Rickner that she used to stay.
I'm dead.
And so yeah, that was our first date. And then I went back to Florida. But when I came back up, I think we just hit it off. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you just like were home, and you were like, let's just.
Yeah, I lived in Florida before we moved down here together. I was in Florida for like 4 months on my own, just training. Because they closed all the gyms down for COVID.
I always forget like COVID was like what it was.
I know.
Yeah, it was like so strange to like to meet someone and
I
like,
didn't
try
stop
and date
living,
at that time. Because remember there was like
Yeah.
everywhere closed at like 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and like people were like scared to break your circle, like you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
it was like
you had a circle of trust, and it's like so. I'm surprised you guys were even able to get to a restaurant.
It was like I don't know, it was weird. There were a lot of places
Jersey,
that weren't open.
Jersey was like.
And it was outside.
They did that weird
It was
bullshit
outside our first
where
year.
you could separate each other. And go. I remember there was a rule. If you had mask, you could walk around.
Yeah.
But as soon as you sat down, you could take it
my
off.
mask off.
And I said, so you're telling me, are you fucking serious? Like, I was like,
no,
whatever.
It was crazy.
But anyway,
That's
we
wild.
participated when we had to, and we just got through it. But Il Fiore is so old school, they weren't doing any of that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He brought homemade wine that he made.
Yeah.
Be like,
okay, so you guys were like chatting for a little, kind of.
Yeah.
Like you were probably not even really thinking anything of it then.
No.
It's like I feel like that's a real thing. When you like separate, sometimes it's just like not the right time. You know what I mean? Like it's like, okay, I know that this girl's cute.
Yeah.
Like I like her, but like what am I doing right now that I can even approach her in a way? You know what I mean?
And it's like I was at a point where I was really enjoying being by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was in relationships before. Like I was finally at a point where I was like by myself, enjoying my friends, like just like kind of like finding myself again.
Yeah.
And I was like so content with that. Because you know, sometimes girls are like you're by yourself, you're like, you know, you don't really know what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So I really wasn't looking for anything. I didn't really want anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
So when he asked me on the date, I was like, yeah, like I'll go.
Yeah, like that'll be fun. And it's like you already know, like you're like, okay, we already had fun together before, so it's like, what's the worst that could happen? Probably.
So then it was like my roommate, who was one of my best friends, and then a couple other of my really close friends. They were all excited for me to go on a date.
Right, because
They were like waiting. They're like, "Oh, what's going on?"
Right, because you're like so unbothered.
So I get dressed and I come out and I look at them and I'm like, I got nerves. You know, I got bad nerves, and I was like, I'm not going. They're like, Johnny, he's here. I'm like, I'm not going. Like, you're going. He's here. They had to like push me out the door, right?
Oh my God.
I was excited to go, obviously, but I
Right.
was so nervous. And I hadn't been on a date. Like it was, not a date like that, you know?
Yeah. Where it's like, I'm coming to pick you up. He gets out of the car. You're like, can you not? Because like we're like used to the bare minimum, probably.
Well, I definitely didn't want the bare minimum. Like, so you're not expecting that anymore because most guys aren't doing that.
Right.
So, but that's what you want. And that's what
what we deserve.
Yes.
Really, yeah, totally.
So
which, when you get to that point, but when you are like by yourself.
So when someone does that, like, you pay attention.
Yeah,
you know? So
okay.
He comes, gets me from the door, opens the car door, helps me in the car. The second he did that, I said I was in the car with him. I was in the car by myself for like a split second while he went around, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit. And here's all my friends like looking through the thing, and I was like, get out of the window. Get out. Yes, they were. They were like this.
I'm dead.
They're texting me, "Can you open the door for you?"
Okay, so then what you told me about when we were like, okay, obviously she's a rider. So how did she end up in Florida with you?
So I signed on with a management company at the time, first round management. They're big with like a lot of fighters, a lot of football players, just any big face right now, probably in the UFC,
Okay.
or like in the bigger leagues, MLB, NBA, all those. So I signed on. Louis DeBono, Brandon Menez, Malky Kawa, Abe Kawa, they were all my managers at the time. So I signed on the first round, and they all wanted me down there because they had the best gyms in the world, and I wanted to move down and take my career serious.
Right.
At the time, I was number one in the country at 185 and 170 in the amateurs. So before I turned pro, I wanted to build a base and just get out all the kinks before we went to the bigger league, right?
Yeah.
My goal at the time was the UFC. And, I said, screw it, I'm going to go down. You know, all the gyms are closed here. I'm going to buy a house or, get a little apartment and do what I have to do. So I ended up finding an apartment, and it couldn't have been quick enough. I wanted to get down there. My parents wanted me down, my manager, my coaches wanted me down there. And I just started to really take this serious, so I wanted her with me. And everybody thought it was a bad idea, coaches specifically, my parents even, before they got to know her.
Right.
And we're all family now, but it was, at the time, they thought I was crazy. Like, what
Well, yeah,
are you
because it's
doing?
like two jobs almost. If you're like being that serious with the relationship.
Yeah, they thought it was like a lack of focus.
Yeah.
But I knew I had something special, and almost 5 years later, we're together. We're now nearly engaged.
For life.
So
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I'm glad I went with my gut and followed my heart on that.
Well, and also you don't have a team per se because you're in the ring by yourself, but like you do have a team because you have your corner, and then you have like the getting up to your corner, and like this is a part of your corner.
Yeah.
And like I feel like it's like something that nowadays specifically is kind of overlooked, like how powerful like partnership can be, and like having someone in your corner like that is like I feel like you can move mountains when it's like when there's togetherness. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so it's like if you find someone who matches what you value and like believes in the things that you believe in and is like as beautiful like inside as they are outside, it's like it seems like a no-brainer kind of. But like I feel like guys, or at least the guys that I have encountered, the options that we have today, or the appearance of options, like it's like a facade almost. Like obviously we have Instagram and things, and so it's like you feel like there's like all these options.
That's the problem.
Right. But it's like if you were to lock in with someone, I feel like your training would go better because
For sure.
you're not having the distraction of the options. You're like, I decided on this, and this is where I'm gonna put my attention and like my energy on this part of my life, and then the rest of it, like you've made like serious decisions. I feel like.
No, definitely, yeah.
So that's like helpful.
Being a fighter, you definitely have to be like when you're home. Like your home base is so important.
Yeah.
It's a lonely sport sometimes because it's like you're breaking your body down, you're breaking your mental down so bad, and you're doing so much, and you have to focus. Like
into you.
When you come home, it's like you have to like want to just be like home and comfortable,
Yeah,
and happy, and like you need the support.
Yeah, and like that's what we're meant to do. Like when we're able to be soft, like that is such like a powerful thing. I feel like for when we are able to nurture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like if especially if a man is getting beaten down. Like, you're getting beaten down in a way for the betterment of your sport. But, like, at the same time, like, they want to break you as bad as they can so that when you're in the ring, you're unbreakable. Like,
if there's any self-insecurities that you have outside of the ring, it's going to show. And sometimes it's from personal life. A lot of people have a hard upbringing. Sometimes it's money problems. And like I didn't make money for almost 10 straight years. Now I have a company fully established now, right? And I'm not even cracking the surface of what the potential is going to be. But at the time and in the past, like the whole journey was very difficult, and she stuck it out with me for the past 5 years. And we've had not a lot, you know what I mean? I've been in bad financial situations. We've had a lot of mental stuff. We've had fights with each other, fights in our family, and we got through it together. When you get stronger like that, I feel like it just builds. It builds more confidence, and when you go in like high pressure situations, the minute you get pressured, right, you're going to see. It's not even about being tough, but people will fold. And I don't want to fall under pressure, so I try to work out everything in my personal life, along with everything else, like in business or in training, anything else.
so, like, you came home, you take her on this date, and then you go back to Florida. And so, like, you guys are now chatting because you're like,
Listen, after our first date, we were like together every day.
that's what I hear,
No,
too.
we were together every day. We were like, I would leave his house and I would like come home because I'm like, okay, I probably should go home.
Yeah.
Like.
Right.
But then he'd be like, call me, and he'd be like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, whatever I was doing at home. He'd be like, well, I'm cooking dinner. You want to come eat? It's just left. I'm like, okay.
Right.
So
And
you
then it's,
become
nice,
like
too.
you want to be together. Like you want to be together.
Right.
There's no like, where is he or where's she at? It's like not thinking about it. We didn't have like a label. We didn't like talk about it. And then one day it was just like we were just together.
So when did you move to Florida?
Like 6 months, I would say. We probably together 5 months, maybe.
I think it was less than that, to be honest with you. I really do. I don't think it was that long.
She's like, I was just going around.
Might have been 3. Might have been 3 months.
No, but literally, it's like,
Didn't care.
you
It
were
might have been
your
3 months.
own whole life.
We knew. We had a
Didn't
different connection. She's been with a couple guys. I've been with a couple girls before. Different types of relationships.
Right.
You know when you have a special connection with someone, everything kind of just falls into place. It's not forced.
Right.
Between our families, we have a lot. Our families knew each other for years, and we didn't. That's the funny part.
My stepfather and his dad knew each other for 30 years.
Over 30.
Yeah, like.
Have you ever heard about like the invisible string theory?
Yeah, I feel like I have. It's
like when you're connected, but like you don't.
Timing's everything too.
You don't see each other till you see each other. Like you're meant to see each other, basically.
Yeah, me and Tim said it all the time. We're like, how do we not know each other? All the people that we know, it's the same people.
Growing up in the same neighborhoods or whatever, like we were both in South Jersey, both in South Philadelphia at like different times in our life, but we always hung out with the same people, like in the same circles. And it's very strange how we missed each other.
Yeah,
I like.
He was at a wedding.
I was best friends. We were in diapers
like before we even met each other.
And we just, I don't know how we missed each other. I don't know.
Like same people.
Yep.
What?
For his cousin's wedding. They were all at this wedding together. We didn't even know each other.
Yeah.
It's going back 10 years ago. Over
like a
10
couple of years later, him and I meet.
Yeah.
I showed my mom a picture of him. She's like, wait a minute. She's like, take him in.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're in Florida, you're training. This is when you said you kind of like lost things. Like she still stayed down there with you.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't working at the time. I was literally living off ticket money and sponsors. Like, not that I didn't have the support of like my dad,
right? Like
and
if
my
you needed
mother.
someone you could call.
Sometimes they would be there financially for me or something like that. But I was the proud type too, so I didn't ask daddy for money or I didn't ask even though I could have.
Right.
Plenty of times I wasn't that type.
Yeah.
So I would actually work. I would do pizza down in Florida sometimes. Because I knew pizza with the culinary school my whole life, and or for 6 years of my life, and I liked working. I was a proud type of person, so I would work down there. She had a full-time job doing hair.
Oh, you did hair.
And we did what we had to do to pay the bills and basically just do the bare minimum to get through training. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm glad we did it because it just builds more character. It's fun. I would do it all over again. Obviously, we had a lot of hardships, and it was difficult.
We spent our last dollar moving down there. We literally slept outside in our moving van.
Yeah, we slept in the bar outside.
Because our apartment, like we moved to an HOA, so they were like.
I had a dog with me too. We slept with the dog.
Yeah, our dog was with us. We're all in the car.
You know?
That's what he said. And I was like,
Yeah.
If you've seen the beautiful house we live in now, you would never know that story. But
no, but I feel like that's how that happens. Is like taking that risk, like believing in someone. Because like I'm sure there were times where you kind of like probably lost belief in yourself.
Lost belief in myself at times. Sometimes you expect a win, or you put everything into something and you fall short. I remember when I was never finished or knocked out. I just want to say that I was never finished or knocked out. I do have losses on my amateur record.
Right. Yeah.
And
I think that's part of it.
yeah, I look at them as learning experiences. You know what I mean? They bettered me, but it's still very difficult to accept. As an athlete, as a fighter,
I think as a man,
you
specifically though too.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to accept, period. But I definitely think like as a man too, it's hard to like be soft in that way, especially if you're like someone who identifies as proud.
Oh,
You know
definitely
I mean?
proud, but not only that, I'm fighting in front of thousands of people.
Right.
Half of the room I know, half I don't.
Right.
Some of these things are on pay-per-view. My first fight ever was on CES pay-per-view years ago, like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on live television. You know what I mean? That was a win, thank God.
Yeah.
But there was other times that, you get exposed or you just put in a bad position. The night's not your night, and it happens.
Right.
But again, it builds character.
Yeah.
Builds a better work ethic. It does a lot of things for you.
Right.
I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
I think it made me better.
When you like started dating, was it like, how does it? Because like I have friends that are fighters, and I'll be like, when they have a fight, like I'm like, can you like not bleed? Like, so I can't even imagine if it was like my partner. Like, how was that for you?
I'll be honest. Like, I feel like so we lived in Florida for a while before I went to his first fight, like his actual first fight, and his training was so intense, and I was like getting so used to it as it was. It just never really fazed me. Like, obviously, I don't want him to get hurt.
Right.
And like you get nervous, like you just do because you're a man getting in the cage ready to fight somebody.
Right.
But I would just watch him train, and like he just doesn't get hit. So I feel like,
that works out.
I would feel like really confident about that, and I just felt like I was so confident in him that I was just like, we need to just fucking beat this guy's ass.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
You're like you turn into savage mode.
Yeah, savage. Like I even have to tell myself, like, okay, we're not gonna get loud. We're not gonna scream and embarrass ourselves and our family. You're not gonna say anything crazy. Me and his mom every time we're like, oh my god, we can't like turn the volume off. We don't want to hear ourselves. We're screaming.
Well, the first fight that I met you at, we were with Carla, and Carla was standing on the chair, screaming into the ring. I was like,
animal.
Yeah, well, I was like, well, I love that, and I felt like that was like telling about your relationship though too, because I was like,
she's my best friend. And she's like, that's my brother. Like, that's
no, like literally, that's my brother. Like that's what she was saying. She was like, I was like, oh my god! Like I'm like holding on to her in the chair, like the chair is like trembling. I'm like, this is crazy, but like I thought that was so cute because I'm like, oh, like that's her best friend, and like this, because you know how too, like sometimes you see your friends in relationships and you're like, it's like a relationship that you kind of wish that they would not be in.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, you don't have to do this. So like, I feel like when you have like your homegirls that are like, let's go. Like, it's like, no, this is like legit. Like, that's her husband. Really.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just thought that was.
I don't think everybody's built for it, for sure. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But you got to be strong. You got to be able to stand up and like be strong for your man because you got to show them that you're confident in them because you got to feel like you can do this.
Right.
They know that they can do it, but if you're sitting there going like, oh my god, I'm scared, they're gonna be like, no, I can't. You can't do that.
Right.
You gotta
I wouldn't
be like,
even be with her.
yeah, you can't do that.
Right.
I need confident people around me. Even if you know I'm going to lose or think I'm going to lose.
Nothing can get in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good vibes, good positive energy at all times.
That you like.
I don't even like to think bad.
Like if I'm nervous, I don't tell him I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I tell somebody else I'm nervous.
Oh, like about the fight.
Like if I'm nervous, I'll tell someone else I'm nervous.
Because like, okay, so you probably have like your own rings in life too, where you have to go in and he's in like your corner.
He's in my corner every day. He's made my life so much like
better.
Just better in every way.
I'm like, okay,
better in every way.
Yeah, a lot of times like you get like I see relationships where they're not challenging you or like not elevating you in ways. And like before we started, you were talking about how he helped you get like your license so that you don't have to. Because like if I could work from home, I would work from home 100%. especially you and I've done hair, you've done hair.
Yeah,
and like
these feet need a rest.
that, and also it's just not the same vibe as New York or LA in Philly, especially for hair. So it's like, when did you like go to him and be like, I don't want to do hair anymore? And he's like, all right, let's figure it out.
Well, before that, I think it was more of like us saying, I don't want to work for anybody, and we want us to have our own business and life to where we can good financial security, not have anybody else telling us when you can have off, when you have to be there. Like with our lifestyle, it's just hard.
Yeah.
I mean, he gives me the option of like if I really don't want to work, but I do want to work because I like that purpose. I need something to do too. But
yeah, totally.
like it's important to have money.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like, let's do this.
Right.
Because his family was already in that business. And just hearing him talking about it all the time, it was easy for me to kind of get into.
Right.
So it took me a year to get my license, but I spent like his last dollar for me to do that.
At the time, we were living in an apartment, and I maxed my credit cards out. And I was like, screw it, I'm going to take a shot at myself and you. And so I got my license and I bought it. And I remember I passed, I was super happy. I went to school and I bought her a course too. We did online schooling and we wound up getting our license. And then, ever since then, it's only been about a year and a half. And I started my own company. I mean, I don't even want to talk numbers on here, but we've done exponentially like crazy good. I'd say we're number one in the state right now.
Oh wow!
You know, and I'm in Maryland, I'm in Jersey, I'm in Delaware. We do phenomenal work.
That's amazing. Yeah, and it's just like trying new things, like having like the support to try new things.
We do really good for people. You know.
So I think also like what you were saying, like about how when you guys first started dating, like you were like by yourself and like just kind of like okay being by yourself. I feel like that's sort of too like when things happen. Like I feel like the thirst energy of like chasing men and like chasing the validation kind of like from men is like where you fall short in a way. So I think that I just want to like touch on that for the girls is like you being like I was cool by myself and like hanging out and like in your own space.
That's when the magic happens.
Yeah. How did you like get to that point?
I feel like I've always kind of just been a little bit mentally strong and like just I don't know, like work on yourself, and whether it's like working out or cooking or like whatever you're doing. Like at the time I was doing hair, being creative. You can't be like stuck in your feels in your head. You gotta like do something for yourself and just be with your friends, be with your family, like lift yourself up and be happy. Because if not, I mean, you're gonna be up in your head and nothing good happens there.
Right.
You know, so it's like all these girls are like thinking about what, like, it's good to manifest and think about what you want, because I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But if you like are kind of giving yourself like a guidebook of what you think is going to happen in your life and what like you think you deserve, sometimes it's greater than that, better than that.
Right.
So what happens for you may not be what you expected.
Right.
You know, I would have never expected this to be my life.
Right.
Like never.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I knew that I was going to have a good man. I knew I was going to get married. I knew I was going to have all those things, but not this.
So it's like better than what you thought.
Way better.
Oh, I love that.
That's why you got to just like kind of let it be.
Right. Yeah. Like, and just find your lanes.
I know so many girls that are like, oh, I need 6 foot and this look like da da da. Like you have no idea. You have no idea what is in store for you.
Right. Well, that's what I always talk about. I'm like, I feel like this could even go into fighting. It's like rather than thinking about the logistics of like the vehicle that will take you there, it's like think about where you're going, because like you could switch vehicles, you might get a flat tire, have to switch. Like you get what I'm saying? Like
it's so true. Sometimes your setbacks are set up. Like
yeah, right, exactly.
Like okay, you got to just kind of roll with it.
Right. That's like right now. Like obviously I lost Zeus, and I'm like everyone's like I'm so sorry. I'm like it just is, and like I just feel like it's like a setup like that. Like in a way, it's like okay, these things are happening, and it's like how I react. Like I feel my feelings about them, but like it's still there's got to be a reason.
Timing is everything.
Like
it's timing is everything. When it's the right time for everything, it'll happen.
Right.
And if it's meant for you, it's going to be for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yeah. So what things are you guys looking forward to? Like when is the wedding?
Oh my gosh.
We didn't even look at dates yet.
No, I mean.
I gotta go like next 2
Well, because I feel like some people are like, oh, like we're getting like some of my friends have gotten engaged a couple months ago, and they're like getting married in 2025. But then there's people that have been engaged for like 3 years. So I'm
not opposed to any time of the year, and then she wants a little bit warmer weather. I couldn't mind either way.
Right.
As long as it happens. You know what I mean?
Honestly, like, it's not going to be like a normal size wedding. So it's like the reason why, like, I'm like, oh, I want to chill and be engaged, but I'm like, no, I kind of have to like figure out how many people so I can at least book something, whether it's a year and a half, 2 years, like, because it's not going to be that many options. I don't know.
I think it's going to be like 600 people, but we're trying to trim the list to like 400 to 500. But we have so many. It's a big. It's a big.
You want to just rent out Wells Fargo again and make
Listen,
601.
between family alone, we have 100 people.
Right.
Like
Immediate family, big family. Thank God, right? But
yeah.
I mean, we have a nice, big, giant family.
Right.
And then outside of that, it's like close training partners, close
associates, family.
Friends and family, really close people. And then I think about all the business people that we do business with. So whether it be sponsors or inside the actual business of construction or public adjusting or I don't know. Clients that we've got close to, you know what I mean?
Right. So it will be like a Philly wedding, probably. For sure.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the one spot? I think it's in North Jersey. I'm going to have to find it and I'll send it to you because I just did hair for a wedding there. And it literally looks like the Great Gatsby. Like,
really?
It's like the most insane fucking venue I've ever seen in my entire life.
Really?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So I walked in, I was like, where am I right now? So I'll send it to you because I feel like I'm getting like princess vibes. Like your wedding's gonna be like Gatsby style. I feel like.
I definitely want black tie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
that's what I'm thinking.
I just want the best food ever. Fuck the flowers. I want the best food.
Well done.
Great.
You know?
And like a million cannolis.
Yeah, a million cannolis.
I'm gonna have a cannoli guy.
We're gonna need a cannoli box.
I was like, I kind of felt like I needed to get cannolis today. I was like ready to run to like.
No, I feel horrible. I didn't bring her any cannolis.
That's
not even like us.
Yeah.
So really I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, am I gonna be here? Like, oh my gosh. I'm like so glad that you came. I can't even believe that you said yes. And what? It was like 4 days. I was like, this weekend. I don't know.
Me and Johnny are so laid back. We're like so laid back.
Okay, so you have a fight coming up in Florence, probably.
Yeah, Florence, Italy. Yeah, that should be pretty fun.
That will be fun. Have you guys like traveled outside the country already?
So we go to Italy like a month out of every year. We were literally just close to buying a house in Calabria.
We love it.
All my friends have houses there. I have people that I stay with over there.
Can I just tell you, him and I?
Awesome.
When I tell you, if you want to go somewhere, say 6 months, right? 6 months, book your flight, and then make your whole life around that. We went to Italy our first time. We didn't have 2 pints. We were like, I don't know how we're gonna go.
I didn't give a shit. I don't care.
We went.
No, yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, you could die tomorrow.
Literally.
You know what I mean? I mean, anything could happen. You walk outside, you get hit by a fucking lightning bolt. Just God forbid. I mean, you just got to live your life. You want to go somewhere? I don't care if it's fucking China, Australia, South America, Africa. You want to go? Just do it.
Right.
You know, that's all I could say. Live your life, whatever it is you want to do or accomplish. I would just go do it.
Same thing for love.
Yeah.
Same thing for love. You feel it in your gut, whether it's bad or good.
I'm the guy to the chance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Gamble on yourself or whatever it is you want a new business. You want to go for that girl and you don't think you can get or whatever the case is.
You know what's funny is I was saying that to my friend today. I was like, every like guy that I've kind of like ever psyched myself out of like that I first saw where I'd be like, oh, he would never. Like I always end up.
Girl, no.
Yeah, girl, no.
Girl, no. He shouldn't.
Right. And like if not, then fine. Like then it's not that anyways. But like it always ends up like even if it's 3 years later, it's like you still bag that dude that you didn't think you could like you didn't try then.
He probably wasn't all that.
Right. Well but you know what I mean? At the same time it's like no, like the shooter shoots, like just try.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for hanging out with me
and
chatting
and
getting all the tea. I'm so glad I got to pop your podcast charity. And I hope that you guys have fun at your fight tonight.